Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, if you recall a couple weeks ago, I set up an Amazon wish list, and recently I received a few things from one of my viewers, and that included a couple of, or a building for my train set. And you know, if you looked at the list, that's mostly what's there is a lot of stuff for the train. Well, this week I got another building element. This is a little cafe store, storefront thing that came in, and we're going to assemble that today. Let me show you what we got. So this is the piece that I received. This is from our friend Kathy Beyer, and she sent me this little. It's called the Other Corner Cafe. It's basically a little corner cafe for the corner of a street. It's got a little fun little. The window's got a door kind of at a 45-degree angle, which is kind of cool, and then a little upper level place too. So we're going to put this together. This looks like this is going to be fun. This one's going to be just like the Dairy Queen, in is that there's some assembly required because it's just a bunch of pieces that have to be glued together and assembled and painted and all that. So we're going to put that together today. This is our project. Let's get going. Yeah, like I said, some assembly required, but these are all the little pieces for the building. I guess that's the front, the side, and then the backside, and that little 45-degree door. And we got a couple of clear sheet pieces for the window and the roof piece. So let's get going. First thing I think I want to do is paint this, because obviously these bricks need to be a brick color, and they currently are not. So I went over to the train store and bought some brick red paint, and so I'm going to start by painting that, because I think that's going to be the best way to go. We'll start by painting it, and then we can put it together afterwards. Alright, so the first thing I've done now is separated all of the individual elements of the building from the framework that kind of held it all together. You gotta remember, these things are all kind of molded together, and so you have to remove and sand down all the D-flash material, get it all nice and smooth so it'll all fit together. So I've done that now. Here we have the side, the front, the side, the other side, the back, the little trellis thing that goes over the top here, the door, and the back of the chimneys, because there's two sides to the chimney here. So now that we've done that, I'm going to get together, and I've got this brick red paint that I bought, and we're going to paint all of the brick to make it look like it's brick, so it's not the same kind of tan color that it currently is. So I'll show you what that looks like in a few minutes. Okay, a little time has gone by. Actually, a lot of time has gone by. This was actually some real detail paint work. Probably spent an hour and a half doing this. But I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we're going to begin assembling this thing. Okay, a little bit more time has passed. The paint has begun to dry, and I've begun assembling the individual side pieces. They basically just glue together, and since there isn't really a base for this one, I've been using some of my right angle pieces to make sure we got good angles on the piece, because unlike the Dairy Queen I did a few days ago, which you could kind of drop onto the base and that would make sure you get everything square and plumb, there isn't a base for this one. So as I said, the little right angle pieces I actually used for my woodworking work have been coming in very handy. So I've got basically the front half of the thing assembled. I've also put on the back wall and gotten that all assembled. Now I'm going to actually put the rear side wall on and glue that together, and that should make it nice and plumb, and we're ready to go on to the next part. Alright, a little time has passed, and I've got the back piece attached now and glued and secured into position. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over this with a little bit more of the paint and just kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. I think that'll ultimately make it look like it's one solid piece versus four pieces glued together. So that's the next step, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Alright, now that I got the seams kind of painted in a little bit, I'm also attaching this framework at the top of the building here that adds to the kind of the Art Deco appearance of the building. And I've got that glued into place, and I'm just using a couple little clamps. Actually, these are little clamps I inherited from my father. So for the first time, these are actually coming in handy. So there we go. We'll wait for this to dry a little bit. Then we're going to attach the windows and the roof, and this thing's going to be about done. So a little bit more time has passed by. I put the windows in this, and it's starting to look pretty good right now. Now I still got to put the roof on there and do a little finishing touches, but I think we're just about done. Alright, so here's our finished product. This thing came out really well. I'm really pleased with how good this thing looks. I gotta admit, I was a little concerned when I saw it in the package, because this was a different manufacturer than the Dairy Queen was. And I was a little concerned because, you know, it just kind of came in a little plastic bag, and the colors didn't look really good, but it really pops now that I got it painted. It looks a lot better than it did in its native kind of tan color, which is what you can see like in the frames here. So like I said, painting it really makes this thing pop. It looks really great. Now they recommend, if you want, that you can run a piece of construction paper from this corner down to this corner, and then you can put lights inside of it to you know, make it look like the building's illuminated from the inside. And we may do that at some point, but you know, because that's going to also help. If you have the construction paper, you won't be able to see all the way through like you can currently right now. You know, just it looks like a big empty hollow building right now. But if I put some construction paper in there, you know, going kitty corner from one corner or the other, it'll illuminate or prevent you from being able to see all the way through, and it'll also make the building look like it's illuminated. I'm actually thinking, they said black construction paper. I might actually go with like yellow construction paper, because then you could put light behind it and it would look like an incandescent light inside, and it would also kind of block the seeing all the way through it and seeing the windows in the back. So we may do that instead, but I think this turned out really great. I want to thank Kathy Beyer for contributing this to the channel. This is going to look great on my train set when I get it set up again. And I think that's all that I have for today. So thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night. So it wasn't uncommon in California for me to get little intruders inside the house that got in from outside. But I gotta admit, the intruders that get into the house from time to time are a little bit different here in Texas. Apparently this guy got into the house. He was hanging out underneath the toaster oven, and it got a little hot under there when I turned the toaster oven on, and all of a sudden when I was getting ready to get my English muffin out for breakfast, he kind of popped out. Now, I think this guy's beautiful. Check that out. How cool is he? So anyway, we managed to capture him uninjured. We're going to bring him outside and let him enjoy the rest of his life. There's way more bugs out there, so he'll be happier outside. But I wanted to show you guys him. Look at the colorings on him. Beautiful.